On screen, Wednesday Addams and Enid Sinclair couldn't be more different. One is brooding, cynical, and allergic to small talk. The other is sunshine in human form, relentless in her optimism. And the funny thing, off screen, Jenna Ortega and Emma Myers are just as opposite. But instead of pulling them apart, those differences became the glue that built one of Netflix's most talked about friendships. Fans love their chemistry. Interviews get dissected, red carpet moments go viral. And edits rack up millions of views. But the real story of how two very different people clicked is more interesting than the rumors. And it reveals why their bond feels so authentic. You'd think instant chemistry was a given. After all, Jenna and Emma carried a series that became Netflix's most watched debut, but their friendship didn't ignite overnight. Their very first meeting happened over Zoom. Jenna later admitted it was a bit awkward. When they finally saw each other in person, their first hug was polite, more professional than personal. Nothing magical, no fireworks, just two co-stars navigating a big new project. It was only after stepping onto the set in Romania that things began to shift. Hours of filming, intense emotional scenes, and the pressure of bringing Wednesday to life forced them into each other's orbit. The energy they poured into their characters bled into their real interactions, creating a rhythm that grew stronger with every scene. For fans, the bond looked effortless, but behind the curtain, it was something carefully built, layer by layer, in long days and late nights on set. The camera doesn't lie, the warmth in Enid's persistence, the subtle softening in Wednesday's defenses, it all felt real. That's because it was real. Off camera, Emma and Jenna found themselves instinctively adjusting to each other's rhythms. Emma's open, high-energy style balanced Jenna's measured, detail-focused approach. They didn't just memorize lines and hit marks. Between takes, they'd share ideas, tweak deliveries, and sometimes adjust performances in real time. That unspoken trust translated directly into their on-screen chemistry. Fans weren't just watching characters. They were watching a genuine rapport leak through into the fiction. That's why When Claire felt alive, it wasn't a PR stunt or fan service, it was friendship being mirrored back through the lens. On paper, Jenna Ortega and Emma Myers shouldn't have worked this well together. Jenna is laser focused, the type of actor who dives into every detail, always analyzing, always calculating. She's private, reserved, and fiercely protective of her inner world. Emma, on the other hand, radiates warmth. She's expressive, quick to laugh, and has a way of pulling people into her orbit. Together, they became a balance point. Jenna grounded Emma during chaotic filming schedules. Emma lightened Jenna's intensity, reminding her to breathe, joke, and step out of character once the camera stopped. Emma has described Jenna as someone who sees through the noise and keeps her steady, while Jenna has admitted Emma's brightness made the longest days easier to endure. It's the classic push and pull. One provides the anchor, the other brings levity. That contrast didn't just make their on-screen friendship believable, it became the foundation of their real connection. By the time filming ramped up, the awkward introductions were long gone. Emma has said Jenna was one of the first people who made her feel truly at home on set. For a young actor stepping into a global spotlight, that kind of support was invaluable. Meanwhile, Jenna, who's admitted she can lose herself in the work, hyper-focusing on every detail, found Emma to be her counterbalance. Emma broke the tension with jokes, pulled her out of her head, and reminded her to enjoy the process. They swapped snacks in the makeup trailer, checked in during night shoots, and leaned on each other when press interviews felt overwhelming. And it wasn't one-sided. Jenna's quiet strength kept Emma centered, while Emma's energy reminded Jenna to let loose. That mutual support gave both of them a safe space in the middle of chaos, something fans could sense even if they couldn't see it. Their closeness didn't go unnoticed. Interviews where they finished each other's sentences, red carpet photos where they laughed together, casual behind-the-scenes clips, fans ate it up. Won't Claire shipping exploded. Edits flooded TikTok. Ship accounts dissected their every glance, and speculation snowballed. But what began as admiration blurred into obsession. Every hug became proof, every smile became evidence. Fans convinced themselves Emma and Jenna weren't just friends. They were hiding a secret relationship. It was the parasocial machine at work. when fandom stops celebrating characters and starts rewriting the lives of real people. Emma eventually had to draw a line. In an interview, she explained she understood shipping because she grew up doing it herself. But she added the boundary that should have been obvious: ship who you want as long as you're not dragging real life people into it. It was a reminder that friendship and chemistry don't automatically equal romance, and that the fantasy needs to stay fictional. The consequence of that fan obsession was subtle but damaging. Their friendship became more cautious. Interviews that once felt spontaneous now seemed measured. Gone were the carefree jokes and casual gestures. Instead, everything looked choreographed, as if they were carefully avoiding giving fans evidence. And this wasn't unique to Wednesday. Netflix stars across different shows have felt the same pressure. On Stranger Things, Byler shipping spiraled so wildly that Noah Schnapp was pushed into revealing personal details he hadn't planned to share. Finn Wolfhard faced endless questions about his co-stars that crossed professional lines. On Outer Banks, Madison Bailey's real-life girlfriend faced harassment from fans who thought Kiara belonged with another character. Even in To All the Boys I've Loved Before, Lana Condor and Noah Centineo dealt with relentless pressure to date. Despite Lana being in a committed relationship, the pattern is clear. When fans blur fiction and reality, actors pay the price. Friendships become strained. Authenticity vanishes. And young stars learn they can't win. Silence is called confirmation. Boundaries are called betrayal. Despite all the noise, what makes Jenna and Emma's friendship endure is that it's rooted in respect, trust, and difference. They don't need to be the same to connect. In fact, it works because they're not. On screen, Enid's light cracks through Wednesday's walls. Off screen, Emma's laughter pulls Jenna out of her shell, while Jenna's calm keeps Emma steady. It's a mirror effect, fiction reflecting reality. That's why fans connect so deeply to their bond. It feels real because in many ways it is. But here's the twist: what makes it special is also what makes it fragile. Fans crave authenticity, but parasocial obsession threatens to destroy it. The very moments people claim to love get lost when stars feel pressured to perform friendship instead of live it. Jenna Ortega and Emma Myers are opposites that clicked, not because they were the same, but because they were different. Their bond is proof that contrast can build something powerful, that intensity and levity, seriousness and playfulness can complement rather than clash. The tragedy is that fandom sometimes forgets where fiction ends and reality begins. But if there's one thing Emma made clear, it's this: celebrate the story, enjoy the chemistry, but respect the people. Because sometimes the strongest friendships aren't the ones that look picture perfect. They're the ones that work precisely because they're built on difference. And for Jenna Ortega and Emma Myers, being opposites isn't a weakness. It's what made Wednesday unforgettable.